Okay, good afternoon. Today we would like to concentrate on. So we have already discussed what is the delete command and what is the insert command. How insert command could be gets operated, and how delete could be gets operated. Everything has discussed. Now we will go ahead and discuss something about update command. Okay, this updation, how this updation could be gets happen, and what are the different aspects to be considered for update. Okay, let us have a look here. So to perform update operation, so let us select everything from employee. So set lines 100 and 100, set pages, actually page size, line size actually. Okay, you can IZD could not be given or given not given, there is no problem at all. 50, it might be some 50. Now execute the same command. So look at this. This is the data which is available with us. So I wanted to so change the designation of Hari from assistant professor to associate professor. Otherwise, professor. I wanted to change the designation of Hari from assistant professor to professor. Okay, this is my question here. Then how could you do it? So you can perform this operation. Look at this. Look at this particular statement: update table name set attribute name is equal to whatever the value you have to set, and to the condition. Some condition will be gets followed. Without condition, first we will look into matter. Then after applying condition, what would be happen? Let us have a look here. Clear look here. Let me operate this one. Update. So my table name is employee, employee, employee. Set attribute name is edesig, employee designation equal to, since it is characters, we need to include within single quotes. We need to include within single quotes here. Single quotes. So what I'd like to say here, professor, professor, professor. So without where class, let me operate this one. How this could be? Look at this. How many number of rows are here? All those rows have been, all those rows, so totally here 6 rows are available. All these 6 rows have been updated. Now apply the selection, select everything from employee, employee. Look at this. So all 6 rows have taken professor, 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 and so on. So if you miss the where clause in delete or update, it could be affected all number of rows within the table. So therefore, while operating delete or update, you must take care for operating with where clause. Okay. Now I'd like to get back the data from server, because I haven't operated commit here so far. So I'd like to get back the data here. Let me operate, so not commit, rollback. Rollback. Yes, rollback has been completed. And if you operate the same command one more time, yes, let me operate this one. Yes, your original data will be come back. If you apply, instead of rollback, if you apply commit, so you never ever get back the data. Please remember, never ever get back the data here. Now let us consider. Let us consider. So what are the premises you need to operate here? So update employee set designation equal to professor. For whom I would like to set? I would like to set for only one person. That person is Mr. Hari. Okay, you do have many Haris in your Hari name could be repeated for several number of times in our total database or table. So that is where we will look forward for employee ID. Okay, employee ID. So EID is equal to 100. Where exactly 100? So thereby the operation will be took place here. So let us look. EID is not the, oh, okay, where clause has been missed, I think. Where clause has been missed here. So that is a error message. Where EID equal to 100. Yes, our one row has been updated here. One row has been updated. Now look at this. Now look at this. So select everything from employee. Yes, that particular, only that particular, where exactly employee ID will be equal to 1 has modified. The remaining everything will be same. Therefore, the suggestion from the people is, as and when, if you are supposed to operate either delete or it is update, during these two perceptions, you must be operate with where clause. Without where clause, update will be taken completely for all rows of that column. The without where clause for delete, so it could be delete entire data temporarily. Entire data temporarily. Okay. So if you want to get back the operation so far happened by delete and update, you just operate roll back. You don't operate any so commit. After taking this command, if you operate commit, so the snapshot of your local machine will be saved to the server. So therefore, you never ever get back that particular data back. So therefore, you are not supposed to operate that particular commit operation after any DML operation here. Okay. So these are the DML operations so far we have. So these DML operations are very, very important. Out of all those, this particular DML is very, very important for us. That is selection. So within selection, I have completed. So what is where clause and what is the order by clause. So these things have been gets completed here. Okay, these have been gets completed. Now, let me come across with very, very important topic. The topic is that particular topic is wait for a minute. So very important topic which plays a vital role in our database applications. That point will be constraints. So what do you mean by a constraint here? Constraint in the sense, so to restrict the incoming data, if you operate any kind of constraint, so yes, you could restrict the incoming data. Let us have a look here. Let us go through this particular point here. So some restrictions I would like to operate here. So I'd like to specify two conditions for you. Condition number one will be employee number 100 has been given to Hari already. So same 100 cannot be given to anybody. Okay, whether so this rule will be accepted by your table or not. Let us examine. Once an employee number can be given to anybody, same employee number cannot given to any other people other than that particular person. Whether this rule is so accepted or not properly. Let us examine. Okay, let me insert one more new data with same number. So insert into employee values. The values will be, I'd like to specify 100. If you enter this 100 manually, then immediately Oracle or SQL system will be verifies that whether it is available with you or not. If it is available, it must be specifies, yes, duplication or uniqueness have not been followed. So 100 cannot be allocated to another. So that kind of message will be produced to you. Whether it is produced or not, let us examine here. Let us examine. Okay. So some name, whatever the name it may be, some name followed by the assistant professor. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this is character. So that we need to include this one here. Character. Then followed by some 13,500. Followed by department is CSE. Look at this. Look at this. Whether it is inserted or not, let us check out this. Yes, it is being inserted. So if you go ahead and select the data, look at this. Same 100, the employee ID 100 has been allocated to two people. Let us consider, I'd like to give you one scenario. If a banking information system is there, you are having your account number, let me say SBI 0001, that is your account number. For example, I'm talking about, for example, SBI 00123440. This is your account number. Of this number has been given to Hari, and trying to one more person has been open new account after you. So is it possible to give So the same number 12340 can be given to some Kumar. Is it possible? No, it is highly impossible. Why? So once you have created an account number, an accountant with a specific number, that number can never ever given to any other persons. If you give something like that, obviously financial troubles will be happen between these two fellows, and it will be a big problem, big trouble. So it could not be happen and ever forever. This is the first point you need to remember. Okay. So to do this particular thing, what shall we have to do? What shall we have to operate? This is the first point I'd like to quote. Second point will be, so while entering some kind of data within this particular table, I am trying to enter some kind of data within this particular table. So Suresh, the name Suresh, it could be important for us. The employee ID, it's very, very important for us. Without employee ID, you never take any kind of data into this particular table. The name, of course, it might be important. And I have recruited Mr. Suresh for assistant professor or associate professor. I don't have any clarity at this moment. So that is why you may be enter this value or may not be enter this value. It doesn't matter at this moment. And you haven't fixed any data, I mean, any salary for this fellow. So it's also does not matter. And which department he is supposed to join, it's also very important. Look at this. Employee ID is very, very important. And employee name might be important. Sometimes it might be, sometimes it might not be, might be important. Position was not declared yet, so it is not important to be entered at this moment. Employee salary also not decided, so it's also not important to enter this moment. So if you omit this value or omit this value, there is no problem at all. And the department also very important to be entered. So employee ID is important and department is very important. These three values may be entered, may not be entered. There is no problem. Okay. So employee ID is playing a vital role. If you are while inserting, if your employee ID cannot be given by you, whether row will be accepted or not. Let us see whether row will be accepted or not. Let us see. So whether it could be happen or not. Okay. Wait a moment. Yeah. So here, I am not trying to introduce any value here. Instead of this one, I'd like to consider. So E name can be taken. So DESIG can be taken. So ESAL can be taken. Only these three rows will be taken into consideration. Of course, employee department has taken with created with default value. So CSC will be generated. CSC will be automatically generated here. Let us consider employee number has been missed within this particular insertion. There is no employee number. So now it should not be accepted. Whether it is accepted or not, let us check. One row has created. Without any hesitation, it has been created one row. Look at this. Okay, Indu has been taken. Okay, no problem. So look at this. Without having this particular employee number, it has been created. Without employee ID, how could you create a row? It is not possible because it is playing a vital role. While creating any, while joining into any institution, you must have some registered number. Without registered number, you cannot identify. You are not supposed to be a student of any college. If you open any account in anywhere else, in any bank or SBI, Andhra Bank, somewhere else, if you don't have account number, you are not identified. Though you may be a good personality in the city or town, there is no problem, but account number is very important. Without account number, you could not be identified. Okay, something like this. So one particular row, one particular column value must be play a vital role while doing some kind of exercise in databases. What could you do for all these? For all these, what you are supposed to do? So for achieving all these issues, so we have to use or we have to take the help of constraints. So constraints are three types actually. Three different types of constraints are there. Three types of constraints. Constraint type number one is so entity integrity constraints. Constraint number two will be so domain domain integrity constraints. Constraint number 3 will be referential integrity constraints. These are the 3 different types of constraints based on the activity which could be operated, based on the activity which could be took by the constraints. So this classification has made. Under entity integrity constraint, so we have 2 types again. Type number 1 is so primary key. Type number 2 is unique. Okay, these 2 will becomes under entity integrity constraints. Whereas domain integrity constraints, so you have 2 types again. So number 1 will be number one A will be so not null, and B will be so check. Okay, these are the 2. And again, as far as this particular point of view, so here only one thing is available for this particular thing, that is foreign key. Of course, sometimes we maybe use references. Foreign key with references. Okay, so you maybe use those 2. So in the perception of so this particular referential key integrity keys here. Okay, so these are so 2 different types of things which are being happening here. So look at this, not null and check, which could be took place like this. Not null is one kind of so domain integrity constraint, and check will be another domain integrity constraint, and so referential integrity constraints will be foreign key and references. So let me start your work with domain integrity constraints. What are domain integrity constraints, and what kind of values are supposed to be took place into the consideration here? Okay, so look at this. I'd like to create a so new table for you. The table will be, so let us take the table definition here. So let us take the table definition at this place here. So here I'd like to create student, otherwise admissions. Admissions is my table name. So here register number, REGD underscore number, which could be number of so number of some 5 or 6 or 10, however, whatever the size it might be. Then followed by student name, so varchar 2 of some 20 or 30, however. So then followed by address varchar 2 of some 20 or 30, however, whatever it may be. So course join, so varchar 2 of some 10. So course in the sense of BTech. Branch join, so again varchar 2 of some 10. Then followed by so prerequisite in the sense from which you are coming. So otherwise join type might be varchar 2 of some 10 here. You are so convener quota or management quota, something like this, and so on and so forth. Many of these fee, so number of 11,2, something like this, 11,2, something like this will be there with you. So here the rules and regulations will be, register number is very, very important. So if you enter some kind of data into this particular table, it must be very important. Without this one, you never ever enter the data. And course join and branch join also very, very important. You never ever enter so without these 2 values also. Join type also very, very important. So here important points will be not this register number, so join type and branch and course join. You maybe enter student name or address or fee, so this doesn't matter. So but these remaining 4 fields are very, very important. Then what will you do? Very, very important in the sense you never enter null value here. You never enter null value here. Okay, you never enter null value here. So null value cannot be placed here. You could see So here, select everything from employee. Here null value has been stored. Nothing is there in the sense that is called as null. Okay. So null values cannot be accepted here. Null values cannot be accepted here. Okay. So, and the join type also, null value cannot be accepted here. So for achieving this one, what shall we have to do? Let me introduce the values. Sorry, create the table here. So create a table. My table name is admission. And before going to take this one, let us move back to, so DDL command create table. Look at this particular create table command. So look at this attribute name, data type and size, default value or expression. Now come to this one, constraint name followed by constraint. I am not interested to give this particular data at this moment. I'm not interested to give this particular data at this moment. I will give you only the constraint. So here constraint names are, here the constraint names are these are. Primary key is one constraint name, unique is another constraint name, not null is other, check is other, foreign key is other. Okay, these are the constraint names. Then how could you give this one? Admissions is my table name, registered number, so number of 5. So I have already told you that you never ever enter null keys. So whatever the data you have entered, that must not be equal to not null. Okay, if you avoid this not null to write here, then it may be accepted null values. There is no problem. But you are trying to enforce one restriction that whatever the value you have entered into this particular column, that must not be equal to null here. That is the meaning. Then student name. So this is varchar2 of some 20. I am not interested to enter any kind of enforce any kind of constraint here because student name might be, might not be, no problem. Address, so varchar2 of some 20. Here also address might be entered, might not be entered. It doesn't make any sense here. But what is the next key? So course join, it's very important. So course join, so here varchar2 of some 10, but whatever the value you have entered here, that must not be equal to null. So therefore not null, not null. Okay. Then followed by, what is next one? Branch join. Branch, which branch you have taken? So varchar2 of some 10. Here also, whatever the data you are trying to enter, that must not be equal to, so null. So therefore not null. It must not be not null. Then so join type. How you have joined here? Joined type. So varchar2 of here also 10 we have taken. It's also not null. Not null. Okay. Then finally fee, number of some 11 comma 2. Yes, things are over. No other fields are available with me. So put closed brace, semicolon, enter. Yes, your table has created. Your table has created. Now let me enter some data into this particular table. Previously, what I have entered here, I have omitted to give this particular employee ID. So it could not give you any information that you have missed employee ID, something like that. Now here, look at this. Insert into, I haven't entered any default values here. No default values in admissions. Insert into admission. What are the points I have to consider? STUD name, student underscore name will be taken into consideration. Address has taken, and then C join has taken, and then branch has taken, and JOIN underscore type has taken. Fee also taken. I have missed one thing, that is registration number. Look at this. In this particular list, there is no registration number. Okay. Followed by so values. First value for student name is Hari, and address is Macharla, and then course join is CSE, and branch, sorry, BTech, and branch is CSE, and then join to be so convener quota, join to be convener quota, and then fee will be how much fee he was paid here is, what is the fee fixation is 35,000 rupees. Look at this. We have taken much pain to type everything. Finally, it may give you one small error message. Look at that. So there is a user Gopi admissions. The table name is admissions at a registration number. You never ever insert null value. Understand? Yes. Now one restriction has imposed. One specific restriction has imposed on the table here. So it may notify you as and when you are trying to enter null value on a registration number or registered number, it will notify you. No, you are not supposed to enter null value here. Now what shall we do? So you have to include that particular thing also. You have to include that particular thing also. Insert into admission values. Okay, values is already there. So 501 comma. Okay, look at this. Now row will be inserted. So select everything from admission. Look at this. Yes, row has been introduced properly. There is no problem at all. Okay. Now my question is, hope that you got the point. Now my question is, let me consider this branch. Let me introduce one more fellow's information. One more fellow's information, that is the number will be some 123, name will be some Guru. So Macharla only, he's taking the BTech only, but he was taken this particular thing, that is aeronautical engineering. But aeronautical engineering is not there in our college. Not there in our college. Okay, you haven't given any condition on this. So I have CSC, EC, EEE, mechanical and civil. Only these are there. If any data is being entered into the table, only looking forward that only these 4 or these 5 items. Don't go for other items. You haven't given anything here. So look at this, row has created. Row has successfully created here. If you go ahead and select the data, look at this, he is taken aeronautical engineering. Okay, but aeronautical engineering is not there. Actually, it is not there. Then how could you restrict such kind of data here? To restrict such kind of data, you may be introduce this one, check. Okay, check constraint is used to restrict some data, whatever the data you are expected to have. Okay, so you are expected to have in the course, you are expected to have only so a certain number of items, only you have to enter such kind of data here. Okay, so look at this. Look at this. How could you impose such kind of condition here? How could you impose such kind of condition on a branch of this particular column? So how could you impose here in the sense? Look at this. So alter table name is admission. So what I am trying to do, I have to add a constraint. Add constraint. Now here you must be enter some kind of constraint clause here. Constraint clause is very important here. Let me let you know about this constraint clause after some time. Constraint name is so Gopi underscore okay, otherwise ADM underscore constraint name is what is the column name, branch underscore the constraint name is chk, check. Okay, this is the constraint name. Add constraint name is this one. So on which what is the constraint name? Check whether so branch 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 in. Okay, I don't want to specify this one at this moment. I'd like to create a new table for you. So because it's very easy to, so I don't want to indulge this one at this moment. So create table, that is admissions one. So followed by, so just wait. So student name, register number, student name, yeah, student name, then followed by, okay, however, let me type this one here at this moment. Address, varchar 2 of some 20. Now C join, so varchar 2 of 10. So here it is not null, not null. Then branch, the RANCH, varchar 2 of some 20, 10. Now it must be not null, not null, and you must also specify that only CSC, EC, AAA, and civil, something like that. So for doing that one, check whether BRANCH branch in, okay, in. So what are the courses you have? First one is CSE, second one is EEE, third one is ECE, fourth one is civil, fifth one is mechanical. Okay, mechanical engineering. Only these, comma. So join underscore type. Join type might be, so where to of some 10. It is also not null as per the previous definition. P. So number of 11 comma 2. So finished. What is that? Where 2. CHECK. Check. Wait for that. Comma, everything is available here. Yeah. Right parenthesis is missed. What is the right parenthesis? Yes. The problem is so VAR CHAR. That is the problem here. VAR CHAR. Okay, that is the problem here. So look at this. Now your table has created. Your table has created. Now let me enter one particular row, whatever the row I have entered just before. So yeah, insert it to. So admissions 1, my table, new table name is admissions 1, and enter. No, now here look at this. ANE is not there in our list. ANE is not there in our list. So now you could see. So here, check constraint which was created by your admissions table, admission 1 table was violated. Actually, what are the list of values you are expected? Either CSE, EEE, ECE, civil, or mechanical. But what you have entered here, ANE. ANE is not supposed to be taken into consideration. That is what the check constraint. Not null and check constraints are, so domain integrity constraints. These two are domain integrity constraints. And these domain integrity constraints will be always looking forward what kind of data you are expected to have. What kind of data you are expected to have. Whether null values are expected or not. If it is not expected, not null can be operated. Whether certain number of values only be accepted in our table, in our column, yes, you can specify only those certain number of values. Otherwise, you can leave this check constraint. It could be accept anything. Okay, and let me say fees. Let me say fees will be taken into consideration. For example, fees will be in between. So 35,000 to 37,000 only. 35,000 to 37,000 only. Okay. Now, how could you say? So alter table. Now let me come back with so constraint name. So look at this. This is the constraint name. So SYS underscore C007515 is constraint name. I could not understand what is this name because it was a system generated name. Now let me create my own alter table. Table name is admission 1. So I'd like to add a new constraint. to the fee, add constraint. Look at the so table creation, where it is. Yes, constraint, the class constraint name, and again constraint. Look at this. How could you create this one? Constraint. My constraint name is ADM1 underscore. My name is this one. So fee underscore. What I'm trying to say, CHK, check. Okay. Then what you are trying to do, fee. So number of what is it? Check, not number of CHECK. Check whether fee is between 35,000 and so 37,000, whether it is in between these two or not. Okay, so look at this. Your table has altered. Let me enter one more data here. Not exactly this one. Let me enter one more, some data here. So 501 is my data, and he is taken CSC here. CSC. He is taken convener quota only, but no, unknowingly against him, it has been stored, it has been given 39,000. Look at this. Again, previously you can see SYS underscore C7515. 7515 has been taken here. Right now, what I have taken my name, I have taken my name ADM1 underscore P underscore CHK. It has been generated by system by default, but I have taken my own. I have taken my own. So therefore, based on this one, you have to create your own constraint. And now your data, which is being entered against the fee, must be either 39,000 and before 37,000. Only these two values, not exactly any other. Let me enter some 36,500 and 500 rupees. Okay, now it could be entered because here CSC is there in our list, and 36,000 will be within the range of 35,000, 37,000. So it could be entered. In this way, so you have to operate domain integrity constraints on your tables attributes. This is the way. You could see you have to create your own constraint, something like this. Constraint, your own name, followed by what is the actual name of the constraint. Actual name of the constraint is check. Okay. Then previously, without giving my own name, SYS underscore C 007515 has been generated by system. I am not understanding what is this. Instead of that, I have been generated my own. This is the way we have to generate here. That is ADM1 underscore P underscore CHK. Therefore, it could be taken into consideration. It has been created by my own. And if all conditions will be get satisfied, then your data will be successfully stored into the database. Otherwise, it is always providing errors. So look at this. So constraint is violated. Check constraint is violated. If you go in the previous, what is that? Not null. So cannot insert null values into so and so column. So all these things could not be took place here. So tomorrow we will see so what is primary key and what is unique, how these two could be evaluated. Because already time is up. So we will see this.